So imagine being excited to launch a startup, getting ready for that hustle, getting ready to get your name known. And something horrible happens. That was my case last year. My brother died. So what did that mean for my capacity, right? I wavered between 0% to 75%. There were days in which I didn't get out of bed, right? I was dealing with anxiety, I was just devastated inside and out. So that's my reality. So how do you start a startup when you have no energy? I tried, and I'm still here today. Not having enough time and energy to get things done is not unique to me. Everyone here has their own obligations, all pulling them in different directions, and we all think that there's a lot to do and not enough time to do it. So then here I am today to tell you 2 nuggets that got me here to get things done. So who here is thinking of starting up a startup? Hands up. Why are there so little people at TechTO? The first nugget is to say no to your own idea, because the market may not need your tech solution. So let's strip that back. We all have our own biases. If you're a developer and you're thinking of creating an app and you have an idea to solve a specific problem, what if the market does not need your tech solution? Forever, you're gonna always try to pivot, trying to make it work. Talk to your customers. So conventional wisdom, tech in the startup world, it has always says, talk to your customers, talk to your customers, talk to your customers. But I'm saying customers, because you really shouldn't have an idea. You shouldn't have a solution that you're already trying to sell. Because if you do, the questions that you're asking is already biased. You're already being like, oh, would you do this? Would you do that? And you kind of only hear the yes, not the 10,000 no's on all the reasons why they wouldn't do it. So this slide, instead of saying talk to your customers, oh, it doesn't show. It does show? Oh. Talk to your customers. Is that it's awkwardly talk to people who you want to pay you later, okay? Because then if you do that, then you know your customers, right, will pay for your solution. So people don't know what this means. We hear the product market fit, we hear talk to customers. So what we're really trying to say, and I'm really trying to drill this into you, is that you talk to them and you say, I want to help you grow. I want to talk to you and figure out how to do it. Can I have a few minutes of your time? And the conversation's awkward because we're so used to wanting to sell, give them an idea, right? So you have to talk to them to sound smart, but tell them you have no idea what you're doing. So conversations, something like this. So after you ask for their time, they say yes. Then you literally say, why do you do this? Why do you do that? If you don't mind me asking, what's your marketing budget? But why this? Why that? And you just keep drilling over and over again to different groups of people. And then you call them back once you've started developing your idea and solution, and you use them as a sounding board. And guess what? One day, they're gonna say, that's it. I'm on board, I'll pay for it. So stay true to the problem, be flexible with your method. This will save you a lot of time and headache. So during this year, I didn't have to try to pivot because I didn't have an idea. Right? I built the business model with the people I want to pay me. So then the second nugget. So the first nugget is awkward. This nugget is hard. Saying no to everything. And the way this came about and why this has worked for me, actually let me backtrack. So because I built a business model with my customers and they're paying me, I was revenue generating from day one. So I had substantial traction. And so because of that, so within 3 months of incorporation, I got financing from Futurepreneurs Innovation Fund. I got into an incubator. I got nominated for an award. I got invited to speak to TechTO, and I said no, but thanks so much for having me back. But the reason I said no is because that's when my brother died. So 2 months after I decided to launch the company, my brother died. So what was I going to do? So I ask you, what is your key metric? Because everything else is a distraction. I went against all conventional startup wisdom, right? Create your sales funnel, create content, create a blog, focus on social media. All that stuff didn't matter. Who cares if you didn't write a newsletter every whatever days or whatever every month or how many posts you write? The only key metric that mattered to me was certifying products, because that's what I did as a company. That's traction. So when you are doing your startup, what is your one key metric? You're always going to have more stuff to do than you have time for. So what's your key metric? Because mindless hustle will hurt you and your startup. So wrapping it all up, to get everything done that you need to get done, be awkward, pretend you know what you're doing, but don't know what you're doing, but don't know what you're actually doing, right? And then focus on your key metric. You can say no to everything else and you'll still be around. So don't be a startup looking for customers. Be the startup customers are looking for. Thank you. Questions?
This makes sense to everyone? Here we go.
So I would like to ask the first question. You mentioned you find customers before you figure out your business model. But before you find the customer, how you find the customer?
Okay, no, this is why product market fit is hard and talking to customers make no sense. So in my case, the problem was there are a lot of brands that were making good products, i.e. without harmful chemicals. And then there were a lot of people who were looking to find these products but didn't know how to find them. So I spoke to the manufacturers and the brands, but I spoke equally to women consumers. And equally, I asked them, why do you, for women, why do you still buy the products you always buy, right? Why do you make that decision? You know there's harmful ingredients. And then for the brands, I said, why do you go to trade shows? Like, it's a waste of time, but when you ask these questions, you get a lot of insightful nuggets. And then you kind of see, you understand how they make their decisions. And half the time it's emotional, right? It's not logical. But because you understand how they think and why they make the decisions about everything, I ask them about everything. I ask them about their personal life. I ask them about, if they have children, because that affects how they make decisions. So that's it. You talk to everybody. It's a really good question, and it's really hard. Thank you.
One last question.
Sure. First of all, applause for your resilience. It's amazing that you overcame huge adversity, and that's what makes great startup founders, so go get them. Did you consider... Yeah. I agree with you with the product market fit. Did you consider using a framework like the business model canvas that can take you through iterations?
Yeah, I definitely did a lot of iterations, but what I did differently was it was all on paper, and I spoke to them. So my MVP was just my voice asking, right? I didn't spend a dime. I had company paying me for the certification before I even had a trademark. Right? So they were on board as I built the whole evaluation system. And then because I spoke to my customers, non-customers who, the people I want to pay me, the sales pitch going forward really easy. It wasn't even a pitch. So it all comes back together. So that's how I would recommend everyone to save a lot of time to get things done.